Hello! Today we are reviewing Sergeant I'm doing really good at introducing these. We are reviewing Sergeant Cross's, it's hard to say, Rockport Police Department Interceptor. It's basically the Heat 5 or Heat 6 police Corvette, AI police car, reskinned. I think the only time this car you're actually looking at was ever used in anything was Need for Speed Most Wanted. I've never played it, so I haven't actually seen it. Sort of an infamous vehicle in Need for Speed, and it's made in various guises, multiple reappearances down the road, I think. Anyway, brief note, as I've said in every other video reviewing these AI police cars, they are accessible on Sparkserver to donors who have donated $5 or more. I'm not affiliated with them, and I'm not specifically encouraging you to donate. It's just how I've gotten a hold of them. Anyway, more information's on Discord. If you're interested, that's your own deal. Here we are. So, again, Sergeant Cross's, well, cop car. Very nice. Again, primarily just very similar to the Heat 5 car I've reviewed previously. In fact, the design is the same, bar the underlying paint color, the black striping, including, you know, weird things like this that you can see, RPD not fitting there properly, no lights on top, and then the rest of it is just, well, it's put together the way it is. It's the same car. Even though that's the case, I'm not really going to go back and show you specifically exactly the comparison because it's kind of silly, but the wheels are modeled slightly differently. It's really hard to explain, even though they're the same set of wheels, basically. I think it's just randomly when they were making it, they didn't quite think that through. Anywho, here it is. Let's get out into our world and do a little crashing around. Oh, you know what? I have visual damage turned off. I meant to leave that on, and I forgot. Let's get it on real quick. Try to do this quickly. Launch into the wall. Boom. Okay, so we have our license plate back. Looks a little better. Turn damage off to keep the plate. And now let's go take a proper look around. So, car does work, and I'm going to show you in a minute something that probably hasn't stuck out from the camera views that we've been looking at, but it moves around. Well, we'll get to performance in a minute, but I don't want to keep you waiting. Let's look at the one weird, very strange sort of glitchy thing with this, other than the other thing I'm noticing right now, which is the shadow down here. It seems to be partially missing some body panel work. Anyway, that is something. I don't know how to explain that, and in fact, I couldn't tell you what's going on here. Look at the driver model. I don't know if that's supposed to be Cross. Is he wearing cloth? Is he wearing meat? What's on his face? I don't know what this is. His legs are melded into one. It's a glitch. I don't know what it is. Oh yeah, also for some reason that hood falls off and stays off. So there's another minor glitch for this vehicle specifically, not the Heat 5 car this is based off of. So it's a tad glitchier. It does behave and perform normally, so along those lines it does have normal performance ratings and 823 overall compared to the 811 here. I'm not really sure in terms of comparison if they feel particularly different. I will note though that even though the Heat 5 car registers as an S-Class car, similarly to some of the other glitches we've seen previously with some of these AI cars, this one is registered as an E-Class, even though it has a performance number, which makes absolutely no sense. I can't figure out why that's the case. I don't really care to. It's not important. But if you go in a single player and do class-restricted events, you are going to be up against unfairly slow E-Class cars, so there's that to consider. Otherwise, that's basically it in terms of the introductory information. Let's get right into an event. I don't know why I pulled that up, or that. You can see my friends. Help. Anyway. Oh, well. Let's grab something easy. I've really been meaning to sort of plan which one I'm going to do in advance. Oh, let's do Construction Route, because it's a really nice old event, and it's very, very short. So, not a whole lot else to say about this. If you look at the RPM meter there, the green bit, I'm going to cover it now. There we go. Getting perfect launch is a little bit harder than some of the other cars, even if you modify with skill mods. Don't know why that's the case, but here we go. It's fast, again, like that Heat 5 Corvette I reviewed that it's very similar to. And, yeah. I'm also now realizing, because I recorded that Heat 5 video recently, I never mentioned in it, the Heat 6 car, the unmarked, so actually it's kind of more similar to this because it doesn't have lights on top. That won't be making an appearance. It's not featured as an AI vehicle that I recall, I could be wrong, that you see AI using in this game, and it's definitely not something you can purchase even as a donor, so we won't be making a video about it because it's not possible. Anywho, driving along, again, that hood is just going to stay gone. I don't know. It's weird. That happened from taking damage. In fact, I think you can lose the hood even if you have visual damage turned off. However, compared to some of the other AI vehicles that had real damage models where it could get disabled, I don't think this car functions that way. I've never seen it get stopped up. We're going to find out, though, because we're going to go to a team escape. I'm going to choose one, and we'll crash through it, and I suppose if I'm hitting up everything, then we'll see if I get damaged. Thinking real quick, I feel like I've done all the regular team escapes. Most Wanted, Late Departure. I never got through Late Departure. I know I keep going to it. It's a good one, and I never finished it because I used it for the Heat 3 and 4 State Muscle Cruiser and Unmarked Variant videos. So, let's see if I can actually get through it, or if this vehicle will surprise me, and I'll find out that it also is disableable. I'm betting it's not, though, given how it behaves much more similarly to the Heat 5 car we've already covered. Again, I already mentioned we're not doing the Heat 6, unfortunately, because that's not available. That doesn't surprise me, actually. I'll just randomly go on a tangent here for a moment. In every case that I've seen, both in the original days of Need for Speed World through a little bit of, sketchy memory editing stuff I already did video about a long while ago, and then now in modern day on some other servers where you do see those Heat 6 unmarked cars, in Need for Speed World, the model's has always been really goofy. It is missing some panels from certain angles, so it's almost as if like there's this strange transparency effect. Some of the wheel wells don't show when you view it from the side, etc. It's a strange, glitchy model, and unlike some of the other cars, I don't know why it's not been featured as purchasable for donors. I understand leaving that one out. It would actually need some work for it to be normal. It's very strange to interact with. I kind of wish I could show you a video about it, but again, not really accessible here. Ooh, that engine noise got really loud for one moment. It's a nice Corvette engine sound, though. Not really a super duper fan of muscle cars generally in the real world, but for whatever reason I've been starting to enjoy them in this game. The police versions, the normal versions, they're interesting. I get the appeal. Maybe that's some of my subtle in the background British blood showing through, but that's not even a valid defense either, because I randomly watched some old Top Gear recently, which I've never been very interested in, and I saw a series they'd done about driving muscle cars through America, and they were, I think one of the guys, Jeremy Clarkson, I think is his name, he was having some objective fun in a Corvette ZR1 he had, and actually saying he understood the appeal of it. He wouldn't want one for, where he lives, but he totally understood why. It's loud, it's big, it's very, in your face and everything else, so yeah, there's that. Not really sure why I started addressing that. I should probably talk about this car a little bit more. So, collision force is on par with the Heat 5 car I went over. It feels basically normal. Again, even though the hood's missing and the driver model is visually glitched out a little bit, it does seem to behave normal. Again, you will be up against E-Class cars, which is totally unfair in single player. Can't use it in multiplayer, as I've said with every other review I've done for these AI cars. You can for private matches with friends. Single player is fine, but it will be absolutely no competition in single player because the game will register this as an E-car and put you against basically Volkswagen Beetles, which is kind of fun. Kind of fun, kind of funny. Little obnoxious if you were hoping for a nice fair fight, but you gotta just roll with the punches with some of these converted cars. They all have their strange bits to them. We've got one more car coming up after this, and again, I'll if anyone's tracking through these videos, I bet you can guess what it's going to be, given what I've said isn't available, and the one thing I haven't even remotely addressed. For no particular reason, I'm going to be all cagey about it and not specifically reference it at all, just because it's the last vehicle, it's a finale thingy, so we'll get to that. You're just going to have to hold on to your horses, or not, because it's not that big of a deal. we're almost done with this Team Escape. I'm fairly confident now, a tiny bit more than I was before. This definitely doesn't have an expiring health meter, unlike some of the other AI cars I reviewed. The Cop GTO one, that Pontiac GTO, the old Heat 3 thing, the modern Heat 3 and 4 cruisers. So, yeah, we are done here. Look out for that last final AI police car review coming up here shortly. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.